Hello and welcome to the Creative Schools Week Online Celebration 2021. My name is Fergal and I'll be your host for today. I'm so excited because we have taken everything that's great about Creative Schools Week and made this amazing jam-packed TV show. So get the popcorn out, sit back and enjoy. We received a huge number of artistic entries from schools all over the country, which will be featured throughout our incredible episodes. So well done on all your hard work and creativity. This last year has been a challenge for everyone, so it's fantastic to get to see so many skilled, ambitious and creative children and young people keeping us all on our toes. We would like to extend a huge thank you to the fabulous artists, creative practitioners and organisations who have worked with your schools. And another massive thank you to your teachers and your creative associates for all their support. The Creative Schools Initiative supports schools and centres to put the arts and creativity at the heart of children's and young people's lives. This initiative provides opportunities for children and young people to build their artistic and creative skills. This year, our theme is Brave New Future, celebrating students' courage in the face of a tough year and looking forward towards a bright future. We have a jam-packed schedule for you, featuring highlights of work from schools, workshops, interviews and features across a wide range of different artists. Before we kick off, I'm delighted to welcome a very important guest to open our online celebration today. Please give a very warm virtual welcome to the Director of the Arts Council, Maureen Kennelly.
Thank you so much, and on behalf of the Arts Council and Creative Schools, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you all to our Creative Schools Week online celebration. In the next hour, you'll get to see the wonderful work created by children and young people in schools and youth reach centres all across the country. This work was developed over the last 3 years during their participation in Creative Schools. I'm absolutely blown away by the creativity, the ingenuity and the positivity you are about to see. It truly is an inspiration to us all. I'd like to especially thank you, the children and young people who fill your schools with creativity. And it's not just this week, but every week. I hope all of you enjoy Creative Schools Week as you learn about the many other creative school communities across the country. Enjoy every minute and thank you.
Thank you, Maureen, for your time today at the Creative Schools Week online celebration. Now it's time to introduce our first Creative Schools feature of the day. From Archbishop McHale College, County Galway, this film Monstrous was inspired by the theme Brave New Future and created by third-year student Ruan Gormley. Ruan is performing with puppets that he has designed and built. He also shot and edited the film, and I think you will love it. Congratulations to Archbishop McHale College on your fantastic film. And Ruan, give yourself a huge pat on the back. Well done. Next up, we have Ana Colomer with her animation workshop. Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Ana Colomer. I am a creative associate with Creative Schools. You're very welcome to this Gifts for Teens workshop. We all love GIFs. We use them all the time in social media and in our messaging apps like WhatsApp or Snapchat. I wonder, what is it about GIFs that we like so much? Maybe it is that they are short, silent, colorful and funny. They say an image is worth 1,000 words. So I wonder, how much is a moving image worth? Today, we are going to learn how to make your own animated GIFs by using little bits of videos. These videos can be taken out of the internet, YouTube, music videos, your favorite series, or you can use videos that you may have recorded yourself of you, your friends, your pets. Let's get to it. We're going to start a new project and we're going to paste a link, a URL. I'm going to choose a YouTube bloopers video from Stranger Things. So I'm copying the URL and I'm going to paste it in gifs.com. Here it is. It will take a while to upload it depending on how big your video, how long it will take more or less. But here it is. Then I'm going to find the second or few seconds that I want to make my GIF out of. I think I found it. I'm going to use this Dustin moving his arm. I'm going to make him do a little dance. So then you have to use, you narrow it down, moving the handles on the side of the blue bar, narrow it down until you are just left with exactly the bit that you want. Here it is. This is the bit I want. Then on the left hand side you have your menu. You can do a few things. I'm just going to crop it, so I'm going to leave out the logo and some of the background. And I save, and then I'm going to add this ping pong effect that will make the animation go back and forth rather than starting from the beginning all the time. You won't see it here, but you will see it when you export it. And there it is. I'm going to go back now and I'm going to make an animation out of a video I just recorded. So instead of pasting a link, I'm going to select a file from my computer that I just took, and here it is. Again, depending on the size of the video, it will take more or less to upload. And here it is. So dragging the handles on the blue bar, I'm going to select just the couple of seconds that I want to make my GIF out of. And then I'm going to crop it. I'm going to leave a little bit of space in the top to add a text. Okay, that's fine. You can play with the menu. There's a lot of things you can do. I'm going to add some text. You can change the size of the text just by changing the side of the box where the text is in. You can change the font, you can change the color. I'm just going to make it in a reddish color. And it's going to be saying, hey, who goes there? And save. Then I'm going to change the color of my animation. You can do this by using Hue. And I'm going to make it kind of give it a bluish background. I think it looks cool. Save. You have to remember. And I'm going to just save it. I'm going to give it a title. And I'm going to give it some tags. You have to put hashtags if you want it to be found and used by others. You can put a few of them. You will get some suggestions. And then press save. You may say no, thank you, if you don't want to get premium. And there it is. If you want to save it into your computer, your phone, you'll have to wait for those bars to finish, because that means it's still processing your video. But once they have finished, you can download it. You can also just go ahead and share it in social media, like you can see at the bar on top. And again, it will be offering you to go premium. And I'm going to save it as cute dog gif. And here it is. I really hope you enjoy your workshop. Don't forget to share your gifts or upload them to social media so we can have a look at them. Bye.
That was great fun. I can now create my very own gifts. Next up, we've got a clip featuring some of our creative schools, with a unique version of Cyndi Lauper's True Colours by students from St Colmans Community College, County Cork. That's followed by a short film produced by Coláiste, Muire, County Cork, called Interview with Myself, where Sean McGrath decided he wanted to interview someone, but he couldn't find anyone interesting, so he actually ended up interviewing himself.
Sad eyes. Don't be discouraged or realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world what makes you crazy, and you've taken all you can bear, just call me up, 'cause I will always be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. Be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show where I interview myself, because apparently being creative just isn't enough. Yeah, you can come down. No, it's clearly your time to go. You know this too, it is most definitely your time to be here. You're literally me 15 minutes in the future. You recorded this less than 15 minutes, so thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show, how are you doing? I'm doing absolutely terrible. Worst day of my life. Yeah. The first question I wanted to ask you is, have you any hopes for the near future?
Probably eat some breakfast.
because you didn't eat any.
Okay.
You ate none.
Well, I wasn't hungry, so it's like...
Yeah, well, you should eat.
Alright.
Eat some food.
Okay, how has COVID-19 impacted you, personally?
Well, I mean, no, I haven't been able to go out and visit friends.
Yeah.
Did you just laugh?
Exactly.
It's not funny.
Deborah, I told you, he isn't a waste of time. No,
What?
It's only a joke, like, it's not...
Excuse me, what?
I'm joking.
Is it?
Deborah.
Deborah, get away. Stop talking to him.
Are you involved in any sport at the moment?
Yeah, I'm playing a bit of soccer.
Yeah. Sorry, could you speak a tiny bit closer to the mic?
Yes, I'm playing a bit of soccer.
Right, yeah. I think that's a little bit too close. Honestly, I'd say just back it up a tiny bit.
Yeah, you think.
Congratulations to all the schools for their fascinating range of visual art, with a beautiful soundtrack by St. Colmans, and of course Sean McGrath from Coláiste Muire for their amazing film. Now it's time to pop over to Donnchadh Hughes, who did find someone interesting to interview, Brian Irvine, who is a composer of opera. Donnchadh, a budding composer himself, was curious as to where Brian actually starts on a project and what inspires him.
Hi, my name is Donnchadh Hughes. I'm a sixth-year student and composer from Dundalk and County Louth, and I'm delighted to be joined by innovative and renowned composer Brian Irvine today. Thanks so much for agreeing to talk to me, Brian.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Donnchadh, and yeah, it's a pleasure to chat with you.
How I'd like to start this interview is just an interview that my mum heard with an associate of Ennio Morricone, the famed composer. Morricone never wanted to be photographed with a piano because for him, he never composed with the piano. Now, seems really alien to me because even if I'm writing a 8-bar melody, I just have to be beside the piano. I can't do it. I was sitting at a desk. But this was Morricone's thing. He would just sit at the desk with paper in front of him. So I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on this? And if you had to be photographed with anything to represent you as a composer, what would it be?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what it would be. It'd probably be something like a surfboard or something. Because I suppose in many ways, it's about. I always feel that inventing music and making music is this kind of really super exciting, just journey. I'll tell you one thing that really happened to me when I was actually probably around about your age, actually, which changed everything for me in relation to what I thought composition was. And it was basically, I started quite late in music. I used to play in sort of various bands and punk bands and stuff, and I never really had a piano until I was about 18, which I rescued from the local scout troop who were just about to bash it up with the sledgehammer. So I managed to get this piano into my garage, and then I spent a lot of time in my garage footering around on the piano, and actually started to learn the piano and went to lessons and stuff eventually. But I didn't really go to piano lessons till I was about 18 or something. And I used to sit in my garage with my scout troop piano, looking at things like, Mozart sonatas, Beethoven sonatas, and so on. And just the sheer volume of music that these guys had created. And I used to think to myself, geez, how does somebody think of all this stuff and then put it down on paper? And then for all sorts of different reasons, I had this kind of light bulb moment where it was basically, I realized that that's not the way it works. The way it works is people have no idea what they're building when they start to build. And part of the biggest problem that you have as a composer is thinking that the music exists in your head and that you then write it down, or that you sit at a piano and you invent something that you like and then you go from there. And what I realized was that all you need to do is to make a very, very, very small thing, like one note or two notes, and then that becomes a sort of thing that throws you onto the next thing. And then that thing then throws you onto the next thing. It's a bit like Lego. All you need is a few bricks and you start to build your creation, if you like. But it's not necessary that you Yeah, so after 3 months of just putting these little bricks together with no idea of where you're going with these bricks, after about 3 months of that, you look back and you've created this massive, massive thing, which you could never have imagined at the beginning of the process. And that was like a real light bulb moment, because then I thought, all right, I've got this now. They didn't imagine this stuff. They just started to build. And then eventually they ended up with this thing.
Big thank you to Donnchadh Hughes and Brian Irvine for that great interview and giving us some great insight into the work of a composer. Up next, we're popping back to Coláiste, Muire, County Cork for another interview. Interview with my sister. This is a short film where Adéada Sasa interviews her sister about her experience of lockdown.
I mean, COVID really affected everyone, but it was really more difficult for people who lived in big cities, and we lived in the outskirts, you know. I didn't really pick up anything. I just engaged into my current hobbies way more. I have a decent amount of talent. Stretch my body, but into deep stretches like splits and backbends. Living on a constant basis with my family. I love my family, but I need my peace and quiet, my time to myself. And having babies run around and call my name 24/7 was, yeah. I've learned not to murder my family. I've had more time with my thoughts, and that's given me more time to really focus on my internal conflicts, my mental health, my lack of confidence, and what I wanted to do to change all that. And I had the opportunity this year because, you know, COVID has limited us. For 2021, more like end of 2021, I'd like to release my novel, which I've been working on for years, and I actually started working on a different kind of novel. So I have 2 in line right now, 2 projects, and I'm really, really excited about that. So, yeah.
Amazing submission, and I think we can all relate to the issues explored by Coláiste Muire. Next up, we have Olivia Hope and her creative writing workshop.
Hi there, my name is Olivia Hope. I'm a children's writer from Kildare, County Kerry, and I also work as a creative associate in the Irish Art Council's Creative Schools programme. I work with schools, both teachers and students, to develop ways to make the school a more creative place for pupils to learn and think and make and work creatively. And we also work with local artists in the community. This is my office. This is where I work. I have a reliable laptop for typing up my stories. I have a reliable whiteboard for penciling down all my ideas. And I have a very unreliable printer, which sometimes prints out stories and sometimes spits out little curled up balls of paper. But when I start writing my stories, they all begin in the same place. They begin with pencil and a sheet of paper, or with a notebook, and I have written lots of stories into my notebooks. This is a notebook I'm using at the moment, but bear with me. These are notebooks filled with years of ideas. Now, some of those ideas have become stories, and some of those stories are in hibernation, but it's good to see that I've kept all my ideas in one place. And maybe after today's exercise, you might start up your own notebook and fill it with your own ideas of stories and poems and spoken word. So today we are going to do a spoken word practice. Now, spoken word is a way of telling somebody a message. It is a way of taking something that you have written and performing it. It could be a story you've written, it could be a poem, but you use your own language, you use your own conversation, and you make it fun. You add rhythms, you add rhymes, you repeat words. So you get to play with all those words, and you make your message stronger, and you make it really stand out. So let's begin. For today's activity, you will need pencil and a few sheets of paper, and you need a prompt, or 2 or 3. A prompt is an item that you use that helps you to get more ideas about your story or your poem or your spoken word piece. So, because our spoken word piece is going to be about writing a message to our friends, I thought we could use a prompt about our friends. So, your first prompt is a photograph. So maybe you have a photograph of your class or your school team. I've got some photographs of a school tour that happened a long time ago. Look, there's a few of us on the back of a bus. Here's another photograph of us on another school tour, except it's a bit colder. It's not quite summery. And here's some of my kids on a school trip they went on. So that's your first prompt. The other types of prompts you will need are prompts that remind you about summertime. So if you look around your house, you'll probably find maybe some clothes that remind you of summertime. Flip-flops, sunglasses, maybe a baseball hat to keep the sun out of your eyes, maybe some sun cream, or my favorite, maybe you can find a prompt that tastes of summer. Would you like some ice cream? Cookie dough, my favorite. What happens is when you have a prompt, it's a really good starting point for your story. Okay, so we've got our pencils, we've got our paper, we've got some prompts. Let's begin. Step 1, story seeds. So we use our prompts to get our story started. And if you look at the prompt, what you can do is you look at using your senses to give you some ideas for words. So your senses are what you can hear, what you can see, what you can touch or feel or taste. And what you do is you can look at your prompt. So I'm going to look at my photograph here and I'm going to write down what I can see, which is smiling faces. And I can see a school tour. And what happens is when you have these prompts are going to give you words to write down. Also, you can use prompts to help you think about what does it make you feel. So when I look at the photograph, I see happy people. I can remember stuff that happened on a school tour I was on, and I can write down those words as well. They don't have to be full sentences. They can be just words that the prompt reminds you of. Also, you can use the story prompts to make you remember things. And this is why it's good to have maybe food or sun cream, because smells and tastes are really great for making you think of words. So when I smell sun cream, oh, I think of beach holidays. I can write down sand and I can write down sunshine. And what happens is, if you've seen some of the earlier videos, Aisling and Naomi talked about word association. So I don't just have to write what I see or feel. I can use words that come off of that by word association to give me more ideas. So I've just started here, just a few little word seeds, right? And you can do this too. What will happen now is you can pause the video and you can write down your own story seeds. I'm going to speed things up a little bit here. I'm going to use my prompts. I'm going to keep on writing down story seeds, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, hang on tight. So here we go. Ice cream smells creamy, tastes sweet. I'll write down the word sweet. Okay, right. Sun cream. Oh yes, beaches. Yummy, yummy. Baseball hat. No, that's cooler if I do it that way. Yeah. More ice cream. Hooray! Okay, how did you get on? I have filled a page with lots of story ideas. So I have written down words like ice cream and school tour and playing with my friends and half days and sun cream and big hats, missing my friends. So I've written down lots of words there. So now that you have all your story seeds, we are ready for step 2. Step 2 is called sentence ideas. In step 2, you take all these lovely story seed ideas that you've written down, all these fantastic words, and you're going to use them to make your own sentences. Now, before you start writing your sentences, we have to remember what our practice is about. In this story word activity, we are trying to think of a message that we can give to our friend. So we've got this whole page covered with story seeds, and we're going to use them as a message to our friends. So our message is going to be about celebrating the summer holidays. Maybe it's about missing your friends, but then again, don't forget, we will see them soon. So with spoken word, you can say your sentences aloud, and what you can do is maybe you'll find that some of the words that you've written down rhyme. So you can use them to do little rhymes as well. The order of these sentences don't matter. So don't worry if you're just writing down sentences. Don't worry about the layout yet. We want to get lots of story sentences down. And by having these down, we'll be able to think about a way of putting them together in the next step. So all you have to do now is write down your sentences. If anything rhymes, write it down as well. And don't forget, these sentences are going to be about you talking to your friend. So say things you'd say to your friend if you saw them. Okay, so pause the video if you want to write down your sentences now. I'm going to speed myself up a little bit. Hang on tight. Off we go. Okay, so ice cream and sun cream kind of rhymes. I could say mum screams or maybe teacher screams. Okay, school tour. Oh, half days. That's good as well. Half days. And plays. That rhymes as well. Okay, step 3. We are going to do some editing. So we have written down lots of sentences. And I've written down some sentences here. And I found that sometimes when I started writing one sentence, just like word association, I'd end up writing another sentence as well. So we have lots of sentences here. Now, when you do editing, editing means that you are tidying up your story or your poem or your spoken word piece so it's easier to read and it sounds more fluid. So it's tidying up a little bit. Now, we have great sentence ideas here, but we need to give them a nice shape so we can perform them and show them. So what you do is you look at your sentences and you have to pick a beginning, a middle, and an end. So remember, our message is that we want to celebrate summer, we want to talk about our friends and how we miss them, and how we hope we'll see them soon. So that can be our beginning. Our beginning can be talking about breaking up for summer. Our middle part could be about our friends and how we miss them and how we'd like to see them and the stuff we like doing with our friends. And then it's always nice to finish positive and hopeful. So maybe we'll finish with something really bright and positive. This stage as well is very close to getting a really nice finished piece. So when you're doing your sentences, you will probably find that you read aloud a lot more. I find it does help to say what I'm reading or what I've written down. So you will find that in this stage that you're probably seeing if sentences work together. Sometimes you might find you will add another sentence, or you might add a connecting sentence because two ideas almost work, but you just need to explain a line a little bit more. Take as long as you need to get this section done. I'm going to do a lot of reading aloud for this one and a lot of writing. I've run out of ice cream as well, which is a bit terrible, but we'll charge on, okay? So let's see how your editing goes. Start writing. I'll see you in a minute. So let's see. If I say that line, I could say, I'm a school. Imagine that. Imagine that. I miss those last days, those half days. I miss those last days. Proper play. I miss those last days, those half days. Every school day is a proper. How did you get on? So by now you should have a really nicely shaped piece of writing that is a message that you would like to give to your friends. So we're ready for step 4. which is recitation. Recitation is where you perform your piece of work, and it's the highlight of spoken word. What you get to do is show your message, you get to share your message, and you get to add a lot of your personality to what you've written. So, things you need to remember when you perform your piece of work. First of all, sit nice and tall and speak a little bit slower than usual. You've spent a long time writing this, so we want to hear every single juicy word that you have written. Also, it's okay to read your spoken word piece, but you know what? If you can learn it off and perform it, it's really effective. Right, so I have finished my spoken word piece. I'm going to read it aloud. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Summer 2020. Hey, hello, hi, it's summer holidays. Only it's not quite right. Not really this year's top highlight. We had too much homeschooling. We had a little sun, but if I'm being honest, not really that much fun. I'll tell you what I missed. School trips, fizzy orange sips, eating cheese and onion crisps, all of us having fun, sitting underneath that sunny sun. Sun creams, ice creams, teacher screams, no bulldog, pick up your tops, get in your lines. But it's a school trip, so no one minds. Football games with half the rules, our hats on backwards, 'cause yeah, we're cool. I miss school. Imagine that. I miss Sir in his wide sun hat. I miss those last days, those half days, when every school day is a proper play anywhere. Anyway, outside fun with my number one. That's you, my mate. You know what? You're great with your smiling eyes and smiling face and smiling pranks all over the place. I don't think Sir will miss you, but I miss you. Hey, I'll be fine. Yeah, you'll see. 'Cause if I miss you, then you miss me. Mate, we're solid. We're a pair like Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, or those grave robbers, Burke and Hare. We'll get through this without a care. Mate, it's like we didn't get to say a full goodbye. These days have been all tablet screens, more TikTok, Zooms, and Skype. Just know, I really wanted to say a full goodbye. But mate, I just can't wait until the next time we say hi. So that's my piece. So keep writing, keep creating, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
A big thank you to Olivia for such a fantastic workshop. Now it's time to introduce our next Creative Schools feature from Coláiste, Chiaráin, County Kildare. This is an experimental audio piece produced by transition year and fifth year students in collaboration with artist McHale Doyle and broadcast on Young Dublin Digital Radio. The students worked with analogue and electronic instruments, text and different music production software to produce the work. The collaboration was shot and directed by students from transition year. Let's check it out.
Hello and welcome to Young DDR. This is a takeover by Coláiste, Chiaráin in Lake Slip.
before detailing these formative forces and events, it is interesting to note a certain visitor who appeared one night at our doorstep unannounced. A clean-cut young man, about 18 or so, asked if he might come in. Hesitatingly, I allowed him in and offered him a seat. He came up right to the point. God told me to come here and tell you that you are masquerading as the light. Your master is darkness. Rather taken back by such an unexpected comment, I asked him to repeat this. Maybe I had not heard him correctly. Your master is darkness. He did so, and I heard the same as before. Trying to be reasonable, I asked him if he would care to elaborate on the statement. Could he prove it in any way? He repeated his statement. God told me to come here and tell you that you're masquerading as the light. Your master is darkness. Your master is darkness. Your master is darkness. Your master is darkness. And so it began.
And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today to our relaxation tape. Goodbye, and see you next time. Good night.
What an amazing submission by Coláiste Chiaráin. A huge well done to those involved. Now, I'm excited to be joined in studio by well-known street artist, Mazer. Mazer, how are you getting on?
I'm good, Fergal. How are you, buddy?
If it was any better, it would be too good, my friend. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us. Listen, what is creativity all about to you?
Creativity, that's a loaded question, you know, but my understanding of it from working in the creative sphere for the last, wow, I'd say 25 years is it's probably more focused on the process and yourself. I think we sort of get a little bit caught up in the end result and producing something for someone else's approval. And we sort of forget that the whole sort of idea of creativity is for ourselves and that sort of journey. And the piece or whatever it is, for me, it's painting. The canvas or the mural is sort of the byproduct of that. So creativity, it can be process or product, but I think we should focus more on process and for ourselves.
Yeah, I've seen this in a lot of your work when we see the murals around. I'm going to get to those, but I want to talk to you about colour in particular. I associate your street art with colour. Tell me the importance of colour.
Yeah, again, colour is an interesting one. It plays a governing role in my work for sure, but like I think we don't really understand how much colour has to play with everything. Like has such a big play in everything. Like look at it in our own lives, like and how it's used on like perception or politics or feelings and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean. So for me, it's a very emotive thing. Let's say if you're to take colour and form and you were to pick, okay, this is a weird example, but coffee cup. And that was like a horrible colour, a horrible shape. You'd probably go over the horrible shape before the colour because colour reacts more of emotion than form. So you have to really consider that. I consider that a lot of my work. That like, I go very abstract with it because it's very important, but it plays a big role like in it. Like I would start my work, my canvas work or murals with the colour yellow and use that as my base to work off. I'll continue on to blue then because it's a hot and cold theory and contrasting. But the colour yellow and what that represents in terms of energy and happiness and joy and those sort of things I think is what I want to amplify in my work.
You yourself have played quite a significant role with art in Ireland, stuff that's very memorable, like Repeal the 8th for me is a powerful image. And when that was taken down, it effectively made that image, you know, immortal. When it was by removing it, they made it immortal because it was everywhere. It was the emblem.
That comes down to public work and people taking ownership of it. I don't take ownership of that. I designed something, and maybe it's timing and stuff like that it sort of took flight. But that's like, you know, you could do a comparison with Jim Fitzpatrick's Che Guevara's image, where he didn't take ownership of it or copyright. He sort of gave it and what it represented and the message it represented, and that's what I think gave it its energy to grow. But yeah, it's a very rewarding piece for me to contribute to.
When it comes to working, and particularly your creative, because this is obviously all about creativity and encouraging young people to be creative, what are the things that help and hinder you with your work?
I think that comes down to habits, really. What I've learned over the last, especially during lockdown, you know, what helps and what hinders, you know, and it's practice and dedication and motivation and discipline and systems and all these things that go through my mind. But I would know that, like, what would hinder my work is probably like, well, if I want to produce 10 pieces and I'm only going to the studio 1 hour a day, that's going to hinder my practice. So what do I need to put in place to sort of foster more creativity? And it might be that, like, unhealthy habits in my lifestyle might be stopping me from getting up early. So my practices will be, if I'll be totally transparent with you, every day I meditate in the morning, I journal, I I do my lists on a Sunday to prepare myself for the week. And what I'm doing is I'm creating headspace for myself, because as a creative, you're in your mind and you're constantly doing that. And then if you've life dumped in there on top of it, it's very hard to manage and to find that space to work. So I put systems and structures in place to give myself the ability to be able to create work, you know.
Well, your work has been astonishingly inspirational to young people all over the country, and long may it continue. Maser, thank you so much for taking the time out today for the chat.
My pleasure. Thank you. Take care.
And a big thank you to Maser for joining us on the Creative Schools Week online celebration. Up next, we have Goatstown Educate Together Secondary School, County Dublin. The students working from home submitted a series of self-penned poems about how COVID-19 impacted on their lives, and we've gathered them together. That's followed by St. Vincent's Secondary School, County Cork, who as part of Wellbeing Week 2020 created a very special art installation inspired by world-famous artist Yayoi Kusama. The TY students then made a time-lapse video of this event.
And welcome to St Vincent Secondary School Wellbeing Art Installation, inspired by world famous artist Kusama, arranged by us, the TY class of 2019 to 2020, and created by everyone at St Vincent Secondary School Cork on the 16th of January 2020. The artist who inspired us was Yahoo Kusama, who was born in Japan in 1929. Her parents did not support her ambition to become an artist, and she left home in her 20s and moved to the United States to pursue her dreams. She overcame many obstacles during her artistic career and suffered throughout her life with mental health issues. Despite having to face all these challenges, she never gave up on her dream, and today Kusama is regarded as an art world phenomenon, with millions of people visiting her art galleries around the world to view her uplifting colourful exhibitions. She is particularly famous for her art installations. An art installation is a type of artwork that is specific to the space in which it is created, and is usually designed to transform or change how the space is seen. One of Kusama's most famous art installations is called the Obliteration Room. It was first exhibited in Australia in 2002 and has since been repeated many times throughout the world. What makes Obliteration Room so special is that it is Kusama's audience who actually creates the artwork, gradually transforming a total whitened room into an explosion of colour by sticking thousands of multicoloured dots on every surface. This is our own time-lapse video of our Kusama-inspired art installation for Wellbeing Week 2020, created by the pupils, teachers, management and staff of St Vincent Secondary School Cork. It was created with the much appreciated support from Apple Computers Cork and the Art Council Creative School Projects. We have included some of the wishes and hopes for the future which pupils have wrote on their dots. We hope you enjoy it.
Thank you to Goatstown Educate Together Secondary School and St Vincent's Secondary School. Excellent work. And now our final performance for today features Youth Reach Portumna, County Galway with their percussion workshop. The students attended drumming sessions with Drummador, a high-energy drumming company. Each student had a drum and they followed the instructions of the Drummador leader to make loud and rhythmic music together. Let's watch and listen.
Okay, James, tell me your favourite part of the Drummador workshop.
My favourite part about the Drummador workshop was the end when we all started dancing around. The middle bit when we were watching your man do the drums on the buckets was actually fairly decent too.
Chaz, and what kind of dancing did you do?
We just started jumping around like idiots. Yeah, we started jumping around at one stage. And Brandon was there doing nothing.
Well done to Youth Reach Portumna. What a show, everyone. That's it from me. Until next time. On behalf of Creative Schools, I would like to thank everyone for all their work and for their wonderful creations. Before we head off, all of us here from Creative Schools would like to give some special shout-outs to some very special people. The Creative Associates for their time and dedication in producing some fantastic workshops for us to partake in. Thank you to the artists and organisations for providing us with some great inside knowledge into their everyday roles. Thank you to all the children and young people who took part and submitted such amazing entries. You deserve all the praise. And finally, a huge thank you to all the teachers for their dedication and support. Thank you all again for taking part with your amazing projects. That's it from all of us at Creative Schools Week Online Celebration. Have a fantastic week, have some fun and celebrate. Make sure to share your photos and videos of your Creative Schools Week under the hashtag Creative Schools. Have a great one and stay safe.